In the tapestry of life, where every thread holds a story, America in black and white emerges as a haven for the voices echoing through the heart of our communities. In this podcast, we wade through the rivers of our collective experiences, celebrating the vibrant hues of change brought forth by the whispers of hope and the roars of action. It's more than just a conversation. It's a journey into the heart of our society, illuminated by the light of those daring to dream and do. Join us, and let your voice be the melody that guides us toward a dawn where every color finds its place in the masterpiece of our shared destiny. Together, let's paint a future brimming with the positives that dwell in our minds and the actions that shape our world.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of America in Black and White, where we are coloring conversations on the canvas of America. Tonight, for our second part of our Juneteenth special, we have Councilman Maurice Hairston with us. Let me tell you guys a little bit about Councilman Hairston. 4 years ago, I ran and became a city councilman in Glenarden because of my love for the city and the people. Growing up and living in Glenarden for 20 plus years, I have helped the city improve in many ways. I believe that peace, unity, love, and community are interconnected ideals that foster understanding, compassion, and shared well-being, creating spaces where individuals can thrive and contribute to a better world. To achieve this goal, I am constantly thinking of ways of bringing the community together, such as Thanksgiving luncheon, cancer awareness events, co-chair of Glenarden Day Committee, City's Expungement Fair, co-chair of Black History Month event, education, motivational event, and peace efforts to stop violence. Prior to getting on the city council, I served on the youth advisory committee and the events planning committee, the youth in the community. I have sponsored or co-sponsored numerous pieces of legislation to improve the quality of life for our citizens. Legislation such as tax rebate, federal workers relief grant program. I am also a boxer, musician, and personal trainer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring to the show Councilman Maurice Hairston. Hello, sir. How are you? Can you hear me?
Hey, how you doing? That was a great introduction, man. That was me.
Oh, well,
yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. I said, how you doing? I said that was a great introduction.
Oh, well, thank you so
Yes,
very
I can hear
much.
you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yes, sir. Is there anything else you'd like to add to your bio before we get into the show?
I actually feel like you nailed it at everything. That was like great homework. Like you took it all. You got all of it. That was a great introduction.
Yes, sir. Well, before we hop into the show, I'm happy. I'm happy that you're here.
Able to hear me, or am I clipping on your end?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
It's like it's giving a little delay. Yeah, it's kind of like a little delay.
Okay. I just wanted to say that as we're doing this part 2 of the Juneteenth special, and in thinking about Juneteenth and what it means to people that look like you and I, what are some of the things that when you think of Juneteenth, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Juneteenth is a day for us to celebrate this being free. It's freedom at its most high. Just a day for us to feel like celebrated, feeling like we have opportunities, that doors is open for us, and we can just be at peace and be free. it's a very loving day. I see like a lot of people take a lot of pride into that day.
Yes, sir. And so, so as we hop into this, I just wanted to, as we're doing this show tonight, and just doing a comparison contrast of where we are now as to Juneteenth and, the work that you do. And because I think it's going to be very important for the audience that's watching tonight to understand exactly where we've been, where we are, but also where we're going.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So it's. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Now go ahead. Now go ahead. You can go ahead. And remember, this had a little small pitch, so I'm just a little bit behind you. That's all.
Okay. So, what are the top 3 priorities you set for your new term, and how did they directly impact the families of your district?
For my new term, we actually kind of just came in Monday. So the first thing I do is I hit the ground running. So just coming in on the 16th, actually, like is when I got sworn for my next term. Right now, and I'm planning a Glenarden Day event, and I'm also coming in from Glenarden Day, rolling into my breast cancer awareness event, and then after that, I'm running into my Thanksgiving event. So those are my next 3 events that's lined up. Glenarden Day is pretty much a community day, for all citizens, so we can all just come together. We got rides and entertainment, and it's like a family fun event. So that will keep togetherness, like my whole motto and everything, for real. So I'm just about coming together all the time. So most of my events always involve coming together, giving you some type of awareness, or like even from a musician standpoint, I'm adding social redeeming value to my content as far as the musician goes. And then for the breast cancer awareness, my mother is actually a breast cancer survivor. And it came back on her, then she survived again. She's still here with us today, so that's a blessing. So what encouraged me to do that is that I know that in our community, like a lot of people were starting to suffer from cancers, from that situation. So what I wanted to do was bring in some people that can give awareness about that and give people a platform where they can speak, feel heard, and feel supported and appreciated. And then with my Thanksgiving event, it's like I'm trying to bring back that old school family feel when like you go to your grandmother's house and have Thanksgiving. So the idea of mine was to just bring the community together, sit everybody down together, and make them eat together. So we'll put the football game on the wall for the fellas, and we have a nice dinner as one, and we all pray together, and then we just sit down and we have a nice dinner as a community. So that's a ticketed event, of course, because we can't bring everybody in, but we can get as many people as we can. So those my 3 priorities coming forward right now.
Oh wow.
And I'm on recess for 2 months. I'm on recess for 2 months.
Okay, well, see, but that's actually pretty good, because that in itself, it sounds and it brings the feel of family and community together, and I think it's that togetherness that makes it that much special. So everybody still knows everybody, and it's just a fun-filled day.
Absolutely, totally agree.
So, how do you measure the trust and transparency in your relationship with your constituents?
Woo, that part, right? Just by always being, with constituents, I'm gonna tell you, man, like they hit the ceiling sometimes about certain stuff, man. You got to raise those taxes, anything like that happen, boy, it'd be a hole in the street, trash on the street. Like they will hit the ceiling on you. So what I like about our governing like body, like how we run our meetings and things that we have a section. Our first meeting is a work session. So what we do is we'll come in and let people know everything that our constituents per se know, everything we got running. And then our second meeting will be a public hearing. And then our last meeting will be a regular meeting. So in that middle meeting, that public hearing part is when our constituents is able to come out and then voice all of their concerns. We're basically speaking on the legislation that's at hand, but we also give them an opportunity to speak on, their concerns. So I would say, like, man, the best thing is this: keeping the transparency is just always being honest and always being a person that's always there to help, because most people, they're not going to come to you if they can't feel you can help them. Like, it's like you at the grocery store. If you going through a problem at the cash register, you like, where's your manager, right? Because you feel unassisted. So you know. So it's like always having that line of just always making sure that you there to assist and you there to add value, and the constituents normally lean on you when they know that you can help them get results. And a lot of people just want to be heard. They want that soft ear that can just listen and not try to tell them what to do, but actually feel where they're coming from and then act on it to the best of our ability, because we can't fix everything. Like some issues, I will tell you, like, they're not our issues, right? It may be county issues. It may be another issue that we can't handle, but just with them knowing that they can come to you and you will at least try to point them in the right direction, they really appreciate that.
So tell us a little bit about your story and how you came to be a city councilman. What inspired you? What motivated you to want to pull the community together?
So I always tell everybody this story. Like, I never wanted to be a city councilman. Like, this never was my goal. I actually started as a musician, and guys in my community, they was having issues, and I happened to see that I was a bridge. And for me to the town, that basically the town hall, and this is an area that I'm from, this is Glenarden. So I reached out to the town hall and asked them if they needed any help, you know, saying as though I had influence, like, you know, God going to show you something and you got to act on it. So I seen that I had influence. I asked them if it's anything I can help them with. And from there, they put me on something called the Youth Advisory Committee, because like we have committees there too that you can serve on. So I got on the Youth Advisory Committee, and from there, I transitioned to be the vice president of that committee. And it was a councilwoman at the time, and we had to basically have a back and forth with them about something at a meeting. And, you know, with me always wanting to just like close the gaps of communication, I just went up to the council members that was there at the time and asked if I can help, or, you know, asked them what was going on. And they actually called me and they put me on something called the Glenarden Day Committee. And I was on there providing all of the entertainment, and I was actually the headline artist for that. So that's crazy, right? I was on the stage performing for the community. Like, that was my thing. So I was on there just doing rap music every year for them. And then I was also volunteering to help and bringing volunteers in. And I started doing that, I believe, 2000 and maybe 18. And then one of the councilmen at the time, his name is you know, Councilman James Anthony Herron. He was like, hey, well, you ever thought about running for council? I was like, nah, I don't even know what that is. Like, I didn't know anything about any of it. And he was like, well, I can show you the way, you know, just let me know. And I was like, nah, I'm not too sure. So it took me a while. I hesitated a bit. And then I was like, all right, I'll try this out. And then my first election, I beat an incumbent. So I ended up getting in. I won by a nice little margin.
Oh, wow. So are there higher aspirations as far as public official?
Well, when I first got on, well, so this kind of secret, I feel like I want to tell you this offline, because I don't want everybody to know, because
Okay.
if somebody going to try to pick up my motion, they're going to try to swim with my motion. But what I would say that, you know, unifying is my thing mainly. I'm just trying to figure out how we can establish more lines of love, peace, wisdom, understanding, togetherness. And I'm trying to figure out how I can merge that everywhere I go. Like, I tell people sometimes, like, the only thing that's missing from a room is yourself. And if you notice, in some environments, you'll walk in and the environments are already like down, like this, like the energy, the frequencies is already low. So sometimes I feel as though like I've neglected my own purpose by knowing that I can come into this room and I don't have to exist like that. Like, you ever been in a room and you see it so low, you look around and then you just get quiet like this. You just be like, oh, okay, I'm just here, right? Like, so now it's like I'm taking the different stance that now when I come in rooms, it's like I'm coming in with electric, like I am, because I feel like what I am is missing. But I'm actually just letting God steer my ship. But I want to take my demonstration all around the world and see how I can improve through the children, through the youth that's being neglected, through the seniors. I wanted to just be that middle bracket, because I'm kind of a middle-aged man where I can still reach the youth, but I can also reach over here and grab the seniors and then help us meet in the middle as one.
Wow.
And I know that was a long description. I'm sorry.
But no, actually, you know, that's really perfect, because, you know, I think when you think about, I'll put it to you like this, like old school, new school, which is how I consider myself, right? Because I'm a generation gap baby. I'm right there, 1966, old school, new school. So it's all relevant to me, right? So if it's all relevant to me, then just as you're saying, you know, to bring them all together, and let's do the thing. That's what it's all about. So somebody has to do that. And if you've got that energy, then I think definitely you should be that person that people need to know who you are. And I'm sure that the audience tonight, as well as your constituents that are watching this, are going to know that they can count on you, Councilman Hairston, as you're doing your job, especially since you've been reelected for a second term. So, what systems have you implemented to ensure marginalized voices?
I'm waiting for it to catch up. Say your last line.
Yes. So, what systems have you implemented to ensure marginalized voices are heard in your district? Can you hear me? Can you hear
I'm
me?
not catching no. I wasn't catching no sound.
Oh man. Hold on one second.
Okay.
You can hear me now?
I heard you say, hold on one second. Can you hear me now? Say something else.
Okay. What about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound better now. Absolutely.
Okay. What systems have you implemented to ensure marginalized voices are heard in your district?
Whew, what systems did I put in place? Well, we like an 80% Black community. So we always heard. They gonna tear the town up if they don't get heard out there. But systems per se, systems in place. Um, I, I do that more through through, through, through lyrics, like through issues that they do have. While I've created events for the youth, I know for sure, where we have like talent shows that come through, and we letting the youth in our community have like an opportunity to express themselves through their content on the stages that we have. So we bring a lot of acts and a lot of talent in that I know that, they're able to use, their emotions and their heart and the things that they've been through, and transfer that, through our sound systems and waves in our community, as well as, giving just so many other people opportunities to be able to feed their family, and also, for their skill set and their talent to be shown with most of the events that we do have in the community.
So, could you share a moment during your tenure that truly transformed how you lead? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, man. Councilman. Councilman. There you go.
All right, it clipped out. I had to switch to a different device. How's this?
Okay, yes, yes. Yeah,
All
so
right.
the other one you want to log that one. There we go.
Yeah, click that one out. There you go.
There we go. Sorry about that.
No, no problem. No problem at all.
Could you share a moment during your tenure that truly transformed how you lead?
Mm, that's actually a good question. You got some great questions down there. Um, Run it by me again. A moment in my career that changed, in my tenure, that changed the way that I lead.
Transformed how you lead.
Um, whew, that's actually a really good question. Um, I would probably say in my first year, because I was just really getting acclimated with the whole thing. So I would
Mhm.
say, just when you realize that you actually have a voice, because when you first step in, you don't know how powerful your voice is. So when I started to see that people started to gravitate towards my ideas, it probably would be my first event. And they started to gravitate towards my ideas and the things that I, add and the value that I add to the community. I would say probably that's the time that I really realized that I had some juice was probably one of those moments. Like,
But I think then this is just me thinking out loud, and maybe you can tell me if this is right or not. But it seems like with you being a creative, like you are, being a musician, that
mhm.
those things are just naturally generated towards people. That your vibe and your flow is just one that's automatically captivating and captures the attention of people and your constituents. And so wouldn't that like kind of like be like natural leadership that you have already?
So yeah, you would have natural leadership, but I think in community you still got to build trust, right? Because most
Mhm,
community, and definitely when you're dealing with African American folks, like we're hurt. So,
mhm,
like it's like meeting anybody outside, you got to kind of, yeah, they may have a natural zeal to you, but then at the end of the day, I still feel like you got some proving to do. You know what I mean? So
right.
I feel like, yes, I feel like I have a natural glow, and I have heard that I have a natural pull and a natural zeal and a natural glow that people gravitate towards. But then it's like they still need to see that act for them to really say, like, all right, cool, you got it. You the one. Like,
Mhm,
you can really do this. You can help us. You can lead. And I think with me consistently this, being active and just always popping up having events and popping up having things that I can show the community coming together, and some of the legislation that I had voted on and things that had got passed that would help the people in the community. I think those are the things where they started to say, like, okay, cool, we can have some type of trust in them. And I think one of my key like ingredients is just always remaining calm and having peace and having a bright smile and moving in love. I feel like that's really my superpower, is that people can see that I'm just really peaceful and wholesome. Like, I
mhm.
think that's really what makes me shine and benefit in my community, is they know that my intentions are well.
Mm. So, like, what is some of the legislation that you got passed?
Man, let's see, man. We did a lot. We did a tax rebate, so we got some money back. You know, everybody loves some money. So we got that done. We got an intergenerational fund that we got done. We passed things to improve the streets. People having potholes, and we got sidewalk programs to make sure that they comply with people that's in wheelchairs and stuff like that. We have a lot of things that has happened at this benefit. That's just a few, but it's a lot of things. Everything that we do for sure is, and I know for me and Councilman Herring as well, that I work with a lot on a lot of stuff that we do. Like everything we do definitely benefits the people in our community because it's always thinking about the people mainly. That's the main focus and the goal because that's why we here.
Wow. That and I like that, especially when you've got somebody that's working with you in conjunction with this legislation to help to build the community and to make it a whole lot better. The improvements. I think that's really cool. Is that the way that most council people work, or did you guys just realize that this is how you guys should do this in order to make your communities and districts that much better?
I can't say that most councilmen do it. I don't know what they do in a lot of different places, but in our place, I would say in Glenarden, we try to come together as much as we can to be on the same accord to do right. I mean, it's like a family though. We don't get everything right. Like we argue a lot. Some things we don't always agree with. But I can say for the most part, within the 4 years that I've been there, like we
Mhm.
definitely brought things to the community that improved the quality of life. Like it was nothing really that took away really from any of the citizens. We always giving things back. We always looking out. We always finding ways that we can help out.
Wow.
Always.
So, what have been the biggest challenges in bridging generational divides in your district?
Mm, I would say I would say with the youngsters, like sometimes they don't want to understand the senior standpoint, and I would say with the seniors is getting them to understand that the flow is changing a bit.
Mhm.
So if finding a way to make them meet in the middle. So I feel like finding a way to make them meet in the middle would be again like I could say an event, right? Let's just use an event. We can lose Glenarden Day, right? So what
Mhm.
we would do is we would mix the stage up. You have your young acts come out, and then you will have your old school acts come out, or you will have the games there. You will have some for the seniors, you will have some for the youth. But I think continuously putting them in the same environment together will teach them how to coexist in those environments. But if you keep them apart, then they're going to stay apart. But if you constantly coming up with ideas and coming up with things to bring them in the same rooms together, then they'll continuously start to grow together. Because can't nothing grow if it's not together. You got to keep
That's
things
true.
together. Anything that separates will grow apart. Anything that comes together can grow together.
That's 500% true right there. That's
Yeah.
what I think. You know what you need to what they call it. You need to put that on the billboard
Billboard. Yeah.
because
I'm gonna forget it after the day, but yeah. But I try. We gonna forget it.
that is about as logical and as sensical as it can get.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know, just there's too much individualism, but some people still you gotta maybe drag them and make them do it.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta.
Um,
That's called leadership, though. You gotta lead the people to where they need to be. Sometimes everybody can't always decide on their own. Sometimes you gotta grab them up and show them the way.
yeah.
Mm.
So, how do you balance policy work with the real lived experiences of the people you serve?
I don't really feel like I balance. I just try to keep it all real from the get go. I don't feel like I try to find a great balance in that or divide in that. I try to make sure that I'm as much so like the people as possible. Like even though I sit on a dais and I got a tie on, doesn't mean that I'm any different from anyone on the ground. So I try to make sure that all of the concerns that the people on the ground have is concerns that I have. I try to walk amongst the people like I am them, because I
Mhm.
am them. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I always like it's good that no matter if you legislate, it's always good to keep a sense of understanding that once you were the people that's outside that's sitting in here talking to who you are. So
Mhm.
when you get great responsibility, I think that you should be responsible for that great responsibility. And that's always remembering where you come from and staying
Right.
grounded and centered.
Oh wow. In what ways has your understanding of community evolved since your first election?
My understanding of the community evolved. I would say more so on the legislative side, it evolved. As far as community go, it's just people. I feel like I've always had a good sense of understanding when it comes to people, right? But as far as this, the protocols and the rules and how like your town is actually ran, I feel as though like that's the things that I had to really get brushed up on, because I feel like I came in with all heart, but some of the knowledge in here for this policy work, like you said, or this knowing how to legislate properly or knowing the rules, I feel like those things that I had to, kind of catch over time.
Mhm. How do you collaborate with grassroots organizers, educators, or faith leaders in your neighborhood?
You said, how do we collaborate with them?
How do you collaborate with them?
Grassroots organizers. Say the list again. I'm sorry.
Grassroots organizers,
Mhm.
educators, or faith leaders?
How do we collaborate with those? Really, I would think that'd be an event side. I mean, because mainly when we bring in a lot of people, other than that, we run in the town, the way the town needs to be ran. But as far as this collaboration goes, I feel like depending on the style of event we have, that'll determine what type of collaborator we actually bring in, right?
Mhm.
So, like, say if you grassroots, I'm assuming you're seeing, so you speaking of like seniors, right? Like people that's been there, ground from the ground up, right?
Well, I
That's
mean, they're probably more so in tune with grassroots than probably the younger generation. But but let's say like when you're campaigning, when
mm,
you're on the ground and you're walking to them doors, that's
mm,
grassroots. When
mm,
you're able to walk that whole entire district, you did that whole thing grassroots. And
mm,
so all the people that was with you, whether
mm,
they were faith-based organizations, whether
mm,
they was just folks that were like just organ community organizers or educators.
mm,
So they're all doing the same thing. They see what you're doing, so they're picking up off your feet.
right.
So have you collaborated with them in any of those ways to get them together in some shape, form, or fashion?
Um, I wouldn't say like bringing them all together in one space per se, but like I would say, like if we have an event that calls for a person from a different style of organization, then we'll bring them in. And as far as like people in educational spaces, I know I go to schools and speak. So
Mhm.
I feel like you will get required to come out of your space sometimes to go into other spaces and give life and to give some education. But other than coming in, like we work with like different people as far as like if I'm doing my breast cancer awareness event or something like that, then we'll work with different organizations and bring people in from different organizations to make the events that we have in this like tailored to what's being done to be a success. Um, if I'm answering your question appropriately, I'm not sure if I'm answering exactly
No,
what.
actually, you're fine, and I'm getting the understanding that
Mm,
as you're going through and you're evolving into the work that you're doing, that
mm,
it's just like anything else. It's just like any other form of work. And so just over a period of time, I guess as it's going, it's just going to only just gradually get higher and higher and higher
yeah.
because it seems like you've already got control and an idea as to how you want to move and shake in this position. So I don't see you coming out of that position no time soon.
I mean, I got 4 years, but I think that I'm probably hang it up after these four. As far as like this being a city councilman on this side, I have
Um,
other like I got other aspirations and dreams. Like I consider myself to be very much so a revolutionary. So
mhm,
um, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do any more years after these four, but
mhm,
I do know that I have a lot of things that I want to do, that I want to move around worldwide. Like I just don't want to like become stuck in a particular just town or just in a box. Like I
mhm,
want to start to merge out and go around the whole world, start to touch out the countries, different states and stuff like that. So I have like a mastermind agenda, and with God, I'm gonna be able to touch these places as he see fit. But it's gonna take some time. But I think that he set me here for another 4 years to just probably just build the confidence, to connect with the community a little more, to, pick up on the things that I may have left behind as far as education and things that I can learn. And also, the community obviously wanted me there again for another 4. So, blessings to that. Um, but yeah, after these 4, I'm gonna go in and drive
well, we'll definitely have to talk about that.
for sure. Yeah.
Which community initiative are you most proud of and why?
Mm. I would say my initiative I'm most proud of is when a lot of guys in my neighborhood was just conducting a lot of violence, being able to like construct peace for I don't know, I think that was about a year or two. Like we had like a good little peace thing going. I was able to put together a bunch of guys from a bunch of different neighborhoods from where I'm from and put them together and put us all on one stage and go around DC and go around the areas of the DMV area doing performances and shows and being able to keep peace in the community for those time stamps. So that's one of my most proud initiatives, really, I would say. It's just that peace treaty.
So, how do you keep hope alive in a district that may feel weary or delusioned by politics?
Hmm. I would say keeping hope alive for me in area like that is just constantly giving them something that's really alive.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like a hope is one of those feelings where you feel like it's something coming on the other side. So keeping them more close to life instead of keeping them more close to death and something when it comes to politics. Sometimes when you politic driven, you feel unconnected. I would say my thing is about making sure that people always stay connected. People always feel like it's something that's charging them up and not nothing that's just draining them and taking them away. So politics can be draining. It can be a long process. Some people talk too much. Some people say a bunch of stuff that don't mean anything. I mean, people talk so proper and they, what I'm saying, they tie you up and you feel unheard and unseen. So me, I'm just honestly always want to be a lifeline to the people. I always want to make sure that people feel alive, that their feelings and their blood and their heart is able to pump and flow. So I want to keep people around something as authentic as possible.
Mm. Man, I tell you, uh, the people that's in your age group, I tell you,
Oh yeah.
they should be all behind you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate. I need you to say that loud, like loud, so people can
They
hear that and
should
actually
be.
with that.
They should be because
Thank you, man.
they say that some of these situations or people come along in a generational cycle. But
Uh,
I'm just gonna say that I know that as time goes on and you're doing the work that you're doing, that you're
mm,
definitely gonna make some impact. I can tell you that right now. You're gonna make some impact,
thank you,
and that's
thank you.
that's a promise. But and I'll tell you, we're gonna be here to make sure that that happens, though, because
For-
it's like especially like for times like now. It's
mm,
like people need to have this kind of leadership that you're doing in your community, in your district, because if
mm.
those people have no hope, then it's just all fail. But
Yeah, for
you are not
sure.
going to let that happen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So it's from your mouth to the true God is that we're able to make that impact that we want to see happen. Yeah, for sure. And thank you for that. I really appreciate that because being in a leadership position, sometimes you feel very drained and you don't get charged up a lot. Like you don't get plugged up a lot sometimes because you always such a giver of yourself. Like you always looking out for people. You always trying to make sure something's going right. So sometimes just having those affirmations is enough to keep, even, the greatest leaders going. So I really appreciate, getting that affirmation from you on
Yes,
that.
sir.
And I'm definitely gonna make an impact. Like I tell people sometimes, like I don't really want a lot from this world. I just want to serve God and this that. Like I just want to make sure that I'm doing whatever He has me here to do.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So we're going to transition over into leadership in the shadow of Juneteenth.
All right.
And Juneteenth commemorates a delayed liberation. How do you view your role in ending modern delays in justice and access?
Mm, you ask passionate questions. Yo, like you ask really good questions. This is one of my greatest interviews or whatever because you definitely challenging my way of thinking. So I really appreciate that too. I would say for myself is this one thing that I want to do is I want to put the youth in situations and put the youth in positions that I haven't saw for myself. So it's a lot of things like coming up that I felt like I was neglected of. It was a lot of wisdom, a lot of understanding that I feel like that I didn't have. So I'm trying to basically give people like a head start. Like if you're 13, I'm trying to catch you with the information you should know when you're 25. Just trying to save them some years of having to learn the hard way, you know, when they're much, much, much older. And at the same time, trying to just influence, you know, the people that's around my same age range to give them game and understanding, so you know we can all heal as a community. I feel like one part and one issue right now, and it's like us just healing as people. So that delayed liberation, I would say, like right now, and I'm just trying to catch people now because the world is getting worse. Things are getting worse. Things are getting more crazy and more crazy and more crazy and more crazy. So my stance right now is to let people know that it's cool to do other things. It's cool to move in love. It's cool to move in peace. It's cool to have something on your mind, right? It's cool to not follow that rapper or that entertainer. Like it's cool to just be who you are. It's cool to, you know, I'm just trying to catch them. And it's harder now too, man, really, to be honest with you, because it's so many other things that they can access much quicker than you, right? They phones like right here, you know what I mean? One click, boom. Like you could have been talking to a kid, he can put that phone up, or you could be talking to a person that doesn't always have to be a child. And the minute that they pick up that phone, they can get influenced 5 times in 5 seconds to something that's totally different from
Yep.
you. So one thing that I'm just trying to catch them first. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to catch them first. I'm trying to be intentional with everything that I'm doing. I'm trying to catch them first. So I'm working on documentaries to give them stuff. I'm working on music to give them stuff. I'm working on things in the community to give them stuff. I'm working on events. Like I'm always trying to make myself, I'm only one man, but I'm trying to spread myself as thin as possible to everybody so I can try to catch them all. And then I'm also trying to build a team of people that can walk with me, which is the hardest thing to do too now because everybody don't do anything. So like, I mean, they just don't do nothing, man. Nobody, it's like the passion is left, right? Like people are only settling for this mere glimpses of themselves. Like it's like they don't care about being the highest version of themselves. It's like a lot of people, and it's no disrespect to anybody, and I'm not saying anything about people that need to heal or need to get through things or need to get through processes, right? But we can't use them as excuses to just stay just small when there's other people around us that need us. Like we're very, very influential. Like no matter how small your life form may feel to you inside, you still may be influential to somebody is always watching just you. For every one person, it's at least one person watching that one
Yep.
person. So sometimes you have to come out of your own state of mind and your own feelings and your own heart to think like, you know, I just need to be an example for just you. And sometimes that one person is enough because that one person can save 500
Yep.
people. So I'm just trying to catch them sooner, man. Let's get to them
So
sooner.
you know, but I got a follow up for that because you know that right there.
Sooner, man. Let's get to them
So
sooner.
you know, but I got a follow up for that because you know that right there was like the whole entire rainbow that you just covered, and I use the rainbow as an
Uh-huh.
example because you know they're big, and so when you
Mhm.
just think about that, um, can you tell me like how in the midst of you know of this task that you just spoke of, how major does education play in that? Because I think that's the X factor.
I feel like education play a big part. I mean, knowledge is power, right? But the right knowledge, you know what I mean? So when we speak on education, I think like people look at education, but it's like what you've been educated by, right? Because education is a broad word to me because you can be educated by anything. If all you know is the guy outside that's distributing drugs, he can be educating you on how to distribute drugs. Like, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Education is a super huge word. So I feel like knowledge is more so power. Like, even they tell you in school, like they be like, knowledge is power. They never say education is power. I don't know if I ever heard that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But knowledge is something
Yeah.
different. That's what something within spirit. That's something that's within self that you have to dig deep and go
Mhm.
find. So I feel like knowledge is really what's important. Like being, because when you find knowledge, you find something great. When you find education, you find something that everybody
Mhm.
can find. But knowledge is something that you can find that can plateau you, yourself, your spirit, and your individual, like you as an individual to a whole nother level of existence. And I feel like that's really important.
Yes.
That
Yes,
part.
it is. Yes, it is.
That part.
Can we draw parallels between the delayed freedom in 1865 and the policy delays the policy delays communities of color still face today?
Who like? So I'm gonna need you to run that back because 1965. I don't think I was
No, I
even a
said
thought. Like,
no.
boy.
Okay, can we draw parallels between the delayed freedom of 1865 and the
Mm.
policy delays communities of color still face today?
Hmm. I'm gonna have to skip that one because I would feel like I would have to do a lot more education, like a lot more studying from the 1865 era.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm not that abreast. But I feel like as far as like this delays in our community, I feel like we always have those. Like those not gonna really change because I feel like it's always people that's in place that's always working on some type of agenda to keep something down with us and or keep us distracted in some type of way. Um, but when you gave me the date, it kind of, I ain't gonna lie, through my mindset because I like to be educated or I like to have knowledge on things that I speak
Mhm.
on. But I feel like it's always something in place to keep us at a certain level and at a certain point. You know what I mean? And I feel like more than ever, I feel like, it's more things that's pushed to us to keep us low, more so than to raise us. Like, I feel like back in the day, I almost feel, and people can disagree with me, but I almost feel we were more free. You know what I'm saying? When we got freedom back in the day than what we are now. And I feel like we more enslaved than anything now. Because now it's in shoes and fashion. Not saying I wasn't born like really back then like that, but with how I'm growing up and looking at stuff, I see stuff it's like way worse. It's like terrible. Like at least like we had black business owners that was really black business owners. So the community seemed to be a little bit more together. Like I honestly feel like I was born in the wrong generation. Like I feel like I should have been born back.
Well, no, see, I think you actually hit the parallel because those, just so you understand, you actually hit well, as far as my interpretation and understanding, you hit the parallel because the delays are always the delays, or always the delays, always the delays. Is that
Mm,
then,
mm,
as they got the delay, not thinking about time and people evolving, it wasn't
mm,
as strenuous as to the 21st century Jim Crow. So now this
mm,
is why it's much worse than what it was then,
mm,
because now there's
mm,
many, many more people on the face of the earth. There was not many. You have to now struggle in order to get those things that you want, where you have to work 5 times harder. Back then, you
mm,
worked harder, but you didn't have to really work that hard. You just had to find that place or that understanding of being educated as to how to move and shake.
mm,
So those
mm,
parallels are
mm.
still the same. They're
Got
still the
you.
same.
Got you.
So the
Got
delaying
you.
is still going on, but when 2045 rolls around, we're gonna change that.
For sure.
2045,
Got you.
remember that.
2045.
That's
That's
the
the year.
year.
Okay. I'm a watch for it. And I'm gonna contact you offline to make sure I stay abreast
Oh,
on
yes,
that.
sir. Yes, sir.
Sure.
In the
Mm.
light of Juneteenth, do you believe your leadership carriers, do you believe your leadership carries a burden of historical memory? If so, how?
Oh, for sure. So I feel like, man, I got honored for Black History Month. So I feel like in my community, like I've like definitely for my age range in my community, I think like I may be the first person to make councilman out of like my group of people. You know what I'm saying? Like that grew up around me. Like I feel like I carry a lot of weight. I've accomplished like so much as far as just being a leader, like being very influential and just leading with a cause and leading with a purpose and leading with a good heart. And I put people in a lot of good positions in a lot of good places. And I'm always just being a component of like that peace, being a component of that inspiration. And if you ask anybody to know me, I never stop moving. Like I'm always doing something and I'm always everywhere. So I'm always gonna keep inspiring and keep lifting. Like it's not over for me until it's over for
Right.
me.
That's the, keep that keep that going. Keep that going.
Yeah.
That's the thing that
Yeah,
a lot of people don't want to hear you say or hear you do, but that's it right there.
mm,
Don't ever
yeah,
stop.
it's not over for me. Yeah, nah.
How does the weight of ancestral struggle influence your daily decision making?
Daily decision making. I just want to honor everybody that came before me in a proper way. You know what I mean? It's like people that really went through like way tougher hardships than we went through. So I'm always trying to, lead and also be like appreciative of this life itself and everything that has come before me. Um, Even, people that's older than me now, like, that put me in position. Like, I have a few mentors that, put me in great positions. And every day that I wake up, I always just want to make them proud. Every day. You know what I mean? Just make them proud. I just want them to I want everybody's work to mean something. You know what I mean? Like they didn't just wake up or they didn't just sacrifice for nothing. Like I feel like anybody that you brush shoulders with in life, period, like that's working to like be behind you, inspiring you, helping you like on a day to day, like you don't want all of their hard work to just go, like voided out. Like you just want to just continuously this work hard and put yourself in positions that people sacrifice for you to be in. So I'm always intentional and I'm trying to make sure that I take every opportunity that I get and make them proud.
So, in your view, what does freedom look like today, and how is it still being negotiated in your community?
I don't know if I see freedom today. Like, I mean, who's free? You like no one's free till we all free.
Mhm,
Like I'm like, I don't know what freedom would look like today. Like God is freedom to me.
mhm.
So, freedom is searching and finding your God, like the true God, and making sure that you get everlasting life. That's freedom. Freedom is detaching yourself from the world and not being a part of it. Like that's free. Um, and you said something about in my
Yes.
community. What was the question for
It's
that one?
just, when I ask, I'm saying, in your view, what does freedom look like today? But
Mm, mm.
how is it still being negotiated in your community?
Um, because in my community, I feel like and this is for world also with community. I feel like freedom is still being negotiated everywhere. Or I just like when you ask me like what does freedom look like, I feel like everybody is falling victim to something that's making them not free. Rather that be drugs, rather that be shopping, rather that be gluttony, rather that be sexual immorality. It can be anything. You know what I mean? So I feel as though I feel like this government can never set us free. We can set ourselves free.
So, are you thinking about the
So
seven deadly sins when you say that?
yeah, some of which, I just feel like, if anything, I see more people being more enslaved than free. That would only be my perspective, and people can argue it, but I would see more people falling victim to being enslaved by things than being free because they constantly giving us things in an aggressive manner. They giving us phones, they giving us apps, they giving us fashion, they giving us things to look at. Like it's hard to even be faithful because everybody butt naked. You know what I mean? Like it's just always something that they're giving you to keep you distracted. But so I think the system is made to keep you more enslaved than to be free. They only want you to think that you're free.
Well, I wouldn't call that a distraction. I call that control, because all of those
Control,
things, all
control,
those things that you
make that
mentioned, those are things that are in control because they're able to spy from the sky above and control and watch each and everything you do. So anytime they feel like they need to make a move, they'd be able to make the move.
they're gonna make that
Mhm.
move. Exactly. They're gonna change the narrative. They're gonna give you something. You know what? When they started saying that all of the food was vegan, I was like, this food ain't vegan. Like, when they was like, when they was sending you everything in the grocery store, they was like, yeah, this is 100% vegan. And I was like, why would they ever want to give us something that's good?
Well, you see, now you go into a place where I just did a blog post last week, and
Mm,
I'm gonna do a TikTok probably tonight or tomorrow, because I'm telling
mm,
you, people need to wake up and listen and think about what you just said, because I just
mm,
there was like, we're like still in the first 6 months of the year. Do you know how many
mm,
food recalls there have been? including in this last week?
I'm telling you. Look, I woke up this morning. They talking about Kraft cheese wasn't no good. I said, huh?
Look, and then,
Every time I turn around, there's something
what
ain't no
about the
good. I'm telling
Cheerios?
you.
Cheerios.
Cheerios ain't no good. Kellogg's ain't no good. But they ain't. But look though, they ain't never say 100% vegan ain't no good or nothing like that. Like it's like they ain't giving us nothing
Yes.
good. Like
And so,
man, look, you got to eat walnuts and water. That's it. You got to survive off of that. That's all you can do. You got to go to the old school. Get you some sunflower seeds and a water. That's all you can do these days.
sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds and call it a day.
That's all you can do.
Many once viewed elected office as inaccessible. How
Mm,
did you break that narrative?
mm, man. So this funny that you say this. You know why? Because I used to tell, I have like a little a team of people that groom me for like counsel, right? I don't like to use the word groom, but like kind of show me the way. Let's say that, right? And I used to tell them like we never knew, like as a kid growing up in the community, like the town hall, we didn't think we can
Right.
get in there. We didn't think we would access that at all. Like we was just like, when I got in there, I'm telling you, it's like you walked into a whole nother world and a whole nother life because we thought we wasn't even accepted in there. Um, so to stay on course with your question, to make sure I still heard your question or whatever, because sometimes I get to talking and I need you to say the question again. But how I can say like um me being able to access this now and people able to see that it was possible, definitely from people being in my community to see it, like it's giving people more understanding that like these arenas actually exist, right? Because I come from areas where we know nothing of it. So now that you become a person that's in this arena, then it makes people want to access more understanding on it. I'm sure it's probably people on here today that's listening that probably know me from other things like music or boxing or things in the community as far as street stuff go or something like that. But for them to see me on these platforms now, it's giving them the understanding to be like, I understand office better. And not only with me just being on a councilman level of things, and I ain't mean to put up like small fingers like it's small, but it probably would make some more people want to go vote. It would make some more people want to pay attention to the presidents that being picked, Secretary of States and stuff like that, just because the positions that you was able to access for yourself. Because I'm telling you, at first, even before like running for council, I didn't even vote. Like I wanted to be so far away from the government, I didn't even want to vote. You know what I mean? Until I started winning some stuff and I started realizing how much that vote really matter. I said, oh, no, yard signs and everything. I'm like, man, you gonna go vote or what you gonna do? You know what I mean? So now I understand, from the position I'm in, like how important it was to even just cast your vote. You know what I mean? Like, cause I'm only getting these places because people are going out actively and voting for me. So, man, listen, I definitely even underestimated this type of office. I would say that. I underestimated just wanting to have the knowledge to know what this office actually does. Like, and even just knowing the importance of going out and saying, like, I'm a person that will vote. I'm a person that wants to put the right people in seats, the right people in places, because when you get the right people in seats and places, then you can change stuff. But when you're young and the seniors telling you stuff, you just old. You just want everybody to vote, right? So like piggybacking even to what I said before, like this knowledge now that I have as I would say a middle-aged man and a senior had given me this knowledge, I probably wouldn't respect it at first. So now when a youthful person feels that way, guess what I can do now? I can say, listen, look where I'm at. Like, look what your vote did for me. Like, you like me, right? I'm cool, right? So this is why it's important for you to put more people that you respect and you admire in these places. So some people in the middle, I don't know if they thought about going back to the youth and grab them and getting them ready for when they become those seniors that have to talk, and we just creating a better cycle for ourselves.
Well, see, that's the purpose of us building our communities for that very purpose, is to keep that cycle going of that leadership on a continuum. Because as we do that, they're always going to be ready because we got that tribe right there in the community that we're building. We ain't got to worry about all that
There you go.
outside. We're building the tribe right here. That's important.
Right here. Right
And
here.
so